Hey, third grade, Mrs. Taminga coming at you. Gonna read some more of this really cool book, The Giant Squid. I hope you liked learning about it yesterday. I know I sure learned some new things. We're gonna read a few more chapters today, and then make sure you go back into Google Slides, on the Google Slides, and answer the questions that are there. Please try to do your best work. We've had a lot of people turning in answers that don't make sense or don't go with the questions that were asked. So make sure you're actually listening to the story. And then I've been posting pictures of the pages that I'm asking questions about, so you can go back and look. So make sure you're doing that. Try to do your best work. Kind of make this a little bit bigger. No, I didn't close it. Let's try that again. Share. There it is. Okay. The Giant Squid. And we're on page 12. So we're reading about Meet the Squid Hunter. Despite the stories of giant squid attacking ships, scientists have learned that these beasts rarely emerge from their home at 1,600 to 3,300 feet, or 500 to 1,000 meters below sea surface. Even today, almost no humans have gone where giant squid reside, and sightings of these giants at the surface are rare and mysterious events. This mystery helped inspire one person who made it his life's work to find and study these creatures. And I'm gonna guess this guy, Clyde Roper, giant squid hunter. It begins with snails. As a child, Clyde Roper spent hours following narrow trails along the seashore in New Hampshire. The trails led him to a tiny snail, a periwinkle, plowing through the wet sand on its one slimy foot. Clyde didn't realize until years later that these tracks in the sand were the first clues in his hunt for the giant squid. Snails and squids are related. They belong to the same group, mollusks, which means soft-bodied animals. Some, such as periwinkles, have shells to retreat into. Others, such as squids, do not. So here's a periwinkle and its trail, just like the ones Clyde followed as a child. See its trail. Let me focus that a little bit better. But who needs a shell when you have nifty ways to escape predators and capture food? A squid can make a quick escape using jet propulsion. It shoots water out of its body through a funnel to rocket backwards like a balloon suddenly releasing its air. A squid is an aggressive hunter, equipped with 8 arms and 2 long feeding tentacles that keep tucked between its arms until it's ready to strike. Then the squid shoots out the tentacles to capture its prey and drag it to the sharp beak inside its mouth. So I'm noticing we have some labels here. So that's another good text feature. Tells us here's its tentacle clubs, its feeding tentacles, its 8 arms, its beak is hiding underneath there, its eye, its funnel, its mantle, and its stabilizing fin. If you happen to watch the video I attached yesterday to the Google slideshow, that they showed a real picture of a real video that they captured of a giant squid. It's the creepiest thing ever. Its eye is like the size of my head. It's huge. It's creepy. Some mollusks have shells, others do not. Nudibranchs have other ways to protect themselves, such as secreting acid to discourage an attacker. I'm guessing that's a nudibranch. In college, Clyde studied the group of mollusks called Cephalopods, a word that means head-footed. He learned all he could about the many types of squids and their relatives, octopuses, cuttlefishes, and chambered nautiluses. Each member of this group has a flexible body with a big eye and a mouth surrounded by many arms. Octopuses have 8 arms, squids and cuttlefish have 8 arms plus 2 tentacles. But the chambered nautilus holds the record with 80 to 100 arms. Cephalopods are the most complex group of mollusks. The head contains the brain and large eyes, and the body holds the animal's organs. Heart. Most have 3 hearts, kidneys, liver, stomach, and gills. The gills take oxygen from the seawater as it passes through them, allowing squids and octopuses to breathe. Like other cephalopods, the giant squid has suction cups to grab onto things. The giant squid suckers are surrounded by small, sharp teeth that dig into the flesh of its prey. Its sharp beak has proven strong enough to bite through a steel cable. So here's our cephalopods, and that means, remember, head-footed. And so here we have chambered nautiluses, and then cuttlefishes, squids, and octopus. Why then does the sperm whale always have the advantage in a contest with a giant squid? It's because the sperm whale's mouth is ideal for capturing soft-bodied prey. It has teeth only in the bottom jaw. Those huge cone-shaped teeth fit snugly into sockets in the upper jaw. This way, the whale can hold on to victims and have no bone or shells. A giant squid doesn't stand a chance. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Get a grip. The open mouth of sperm whale shows how it can clench a soft squid between its jaws. So see, here's its teeth, and when it clamps down, it just fits nicely into those little holes there. All right. Architeuthis, the chief squid. Ocean detective on the chase. I thought I was going to say on the case. There are more than 500 species of squid, a number that keeps growing as new species are found each year. Scientists have named the giant squid Architeuthis, which means the chief squid. Clyde Roper decided to dedicate himself to studying this secretive squid that scientists knew so little about. But how would he study a creature that was so difficult to find? This dilemma made it intriguing to Clyde. He felt like a detective looking for a suspect that had escaped captures for centuries. How scientists solve mysteries. Scientists make observations that lead to an idea they want to test, a hypothesis. To test the idea, they collect information or gather clues, data, by observing nature or by designing an experiment. Then, like detectives, they try to figure out what all the clues mean. Often, more answers lead to more questions. Scientists don't give up if the answer is difficult to find. Unlike TV detectives who can solve a case in an hour, it sometimes takes a lifetime or longer to solve a scientific mystery. Ooh, this might get a little bloody. One day when Clyde was studying at the University of Miami, he got a call about a dead sperm whale that had washed ashore. Did anyone want to examine it? Absolutely. Since sperm whales were no longer hunted, this was a rare chance to try to find a modern-day link between sperm whales and the giant squid. Clyde and his friends raced to the beach. They jumped into the ditch that had been dug to bury the whale's body. Armed with knives, saws, and hatchets, they cut into one stomach, then another, until they were up to their shoulders inside the whale's 3 stomachs. It was a messy job, but would it give them clues to the giant squid? Here in the picture, it says a beached sperm whale gives Clyde Roper a chance to look for giant squid. Okay, this gets a little gory. Hours later, the researchers had retrieved nearly 1,000 squid beaks. They were amazed by the huge number of squids a whale could eat, but none of the beaks belonged to a giant squid. However, they did discover many large circular scars around the whale's mouth, proving that the whale had battled and devoured giant squid during his lifetime. Eager to clean up before getting into their car, Clyde and his friends toddled to the water's edge. They saw dozens of shark fins just beyond the surf, attracted by the smell of the whale blood. Change of plans. The men had to drive back home in their blood-soaked clothes. Ugh. I bet their wives were happy with them. So here we have dissecting a sperm whale carcass could teach Clyde and his fellow graduate students about the whale's favorite food. And Clyde really gets into his work. Ooh. Okay, let's move on from that page. After years of studying, Clyde Roper was now a PhD, a doctor of science. Dr. Roper was invited to join the staff of the Smithsonian Institution's Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. He began investigating many kinds of squid, from species the size of his thumbnail, that's tiny, to ones nearly as tall as he was. Soon specimens of all kinds of squids arrived at the Smithsonian for Clyde to examine, including giant squid. The work only fueled his curiosity to see a live giant squid in the ocean. So there's more than 500 known species of squids, with more being discovered each year. So we have a glass squid, an oval squid, a southern calamari squid. I wonder if that's like calamari, the appetizer. I love calamari. A sperm whale off the coast of Japan munches on a giant squid. So apparently that's him there, maybe? I don't know. How many giant squid are there and how do we know? Researchers have estimated the population of giant squid by counting the number of giant squid beaks found inside sperm whale stomachs. The whales can't digest hard objects, so the beaks are usually passed out of the whales in about a week, encased in ambergris. Remember we talked about the ambergris earlier. One sperm whale may eat as many as 20,000 squids a week. Oof. Of those, perhaps only 3 are giants. So one sperm whale may devour about 150 giant squid a year. It's estimated that there are at least 400,000 sperm whales living in all the world's oceans. Some whale biologists think there may be more than 1 million. So how many giant squid do all those whales eat each year? That's 60 million giant squid. Of course, not all giant squid are eaten by sperm whales, so there could be many more millions of giant squid hiding deep in the world's oceans. That's crazy. What autopsies reveal? Oh, okay. That's gross. In all recorded history, fewer than 500 specimens of giant squid have ever been found. In more than 40 years of research, Clyde has examined nearly 100. The largest giant squid ever recorded was reported to measure 60 feet or 18 meters long. Thinking like 60 feet, that's like, I don't know, from maybe my class and Mrs. Dean's class combined. Clyde suspects that those who claim to have found the world's largest giant squid may have stretched the squid and the truth a bit to make it seem longer. Bummer. The largest specimen that Clyde has studied was nearly 46 feet long, and most of the adult giant squid found have been about 25 to 33 feet long. The tentacles make up 2/3 of their overall length. The giant squid ranks among the ocean's largest animals. Its size exceeded only by a few species of whales and sharks. So here we have Clyde Roper and Michael Sweeney examining a large giant squid that had been caught in a fisherman's net off of New Zealand. It's pretty big. Oh no, he did it. He laid by it. It's gross. He's gonna smell. Squids, much like trees, have growth rings. Squid's rings are located in tiny ear bones called statoliths. They are called daily rings because a new ring is laid down each day. Clyde has counted the giant squid's growth rings to figure out that it lives about a year, possibly 2. This tells scientists that giant squid are very fast-growing animals. So here's Clyde checking to see how his 6-foot frame measures up to the mantle of a giant squid. And then this is a statolith shown in front and back views. Helps the squid maintain its balance and tell it how fast it's swimming. Circular rings in statoliths can be used to estimate a squid's age. And then this was cut into a very thin slice, or this was cut, and then viewed under the microscope. Each dark and light band represents 1 day's growth. That kind of reminds me of something else that when it's cut looks like this and shows its growth. The adult giant squid's eye, its most remarkable feature, are the size of car headlights. I'm telling you guys, they're big. How do they penetrate the permanent darkness of the deep sea to find their prey? How far can giant squid see? Clyde wanted to answer these questions and many more. Clyde talked with deep sea fishermen who had caught giant squid in their fishing nets. He examined bodies of squid that had washed up on shore, but dead or dying specimens couldn't answer the one big question that haunted Clyde. How does a giant squid behave in its natural habitat? He decided he had to find out. Gross. The eye of a giant squid is the largest in the natural world. This one is nearly the size of Clyde's head. Okay, and I think I'm going to stop there. So I think we'll keep reading about this rest of this probably tomorrow, about how do deep sea creatures see in the dark. Ooh. All right, guys, go do good work.